Hey Libra, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we're going to take what works and leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. If I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, or even if I do, go check your other major placements. We're going to start with an intuitive vibe with this Oracle of Mystical Moments. Nope. Nope, I'm not using that deck right now. With this Oracle deck, this Moonology and Work Your Light. Maybe I should get the Oracle Mystical Moments deck. Yeah, why not? Okay, well, I guess we're going to use that deck. So we're going to start off with an intuitive vibe from the Oracle Mystical Moments deck. And then we'll move on to the Muse Tarot. I haven't combined these two decks yet, so that'll be interesting. And the Muse Tarot, I'm just getting used to. So I'm still getting used to it, but I like it. Okay. We've got one card. Do I have any other volunteers? Am I going to have to make a selection? Anything else? I kind of want a third one. Beautiful. Okay. We have change of seasons here. Everything's changing. It's all interconnected. You've got a lot of changes going on in your life right now. We've got a big change, pretty big change. Spring and fall all coming together. Your job. According to this card, in this card, your job right now is to just stand and watch it happen. Watch it unfold around you. Watch these changes come in, allow them. There's a lot of allowing. I feel like there's a lot of allowing with Virgos too. But yeah, Leo, on the other hand, different story. But this is change of season. So there's a change going on. I don't think it has a lot to do with... You're not doing anything at this point. You may have invited it, but at this point, this is just... It has a Cinderella vibe to me, as far as like when the mice and the birds were all getting her dressed, and you might be feeling very vulnerable. Very vulnerable in this situation as things change, and you're not really in charge of a lot of it. And yet you are. Because we have abracadabra. We have you using your words to change things, to change a dynamic, a wish, a dream come true. You're big. This is like a change in your life that you've wanted, that you've wished for, and you've grown enough now to meet it. Like it required a lot of personal growth, and now here you are. You have grown so much. Your mind has grown. There's another card here about your mind growing and sort of a lot of that inner growth and a lot of your mind building. And you've come back around to something. We're seeing this with the spiral. So you've come back around to something, but this time you've grown so much that you can touch it, you can achieve it, this thing that you've wanted. It's come back and you are able to reach out and touch it now. And there's something about your words. It's something about something that you say, something that you do. Abracadabra, making it happen. Make it so is basically you. You're sort of a verbal captain here, and you can make it so just through your words. And I love that you've grown so much, and you've grown and you've come back to this place that now you can make your dream come true. This may have been a star you wished on as a little kid, but now we're making it true. We're making it happen. Abracadabra. There's magic here, and the magic is you, and the magic is how much you've grown and how much you've changed, so that this dream is now perfectly within reach. You don't even have to stretch for it. You just touch it. And then you have bloom here. This could be very strong intuitive hits coming in, really understanding, really getting. I almost always hear a crackling with this card, as the crackling of a mind opening, the crackling of connections with the universe, the crackling open of something, of hearing something, of hearing sort of the music of the universe, hearing some sort of, maybe even hearing the patterns, hearing the electricity, hearing the connection. So there's a lot of communication here, you talking and you listening. You listening and hearing things and making connections and making understandings. And it's just like a mind having come alive with a lot of connections, a lot of realizations, a lot of understanding. Some sort of idea in your mind is just blooming. It's just growing. These 3 cards, you have major changes, making things happen through your words, but also experiencing large changes through listening, through hearing things, through connecting, and not just listening with your ears, but listening with your third eye, opening that up and allowing information to flow into you, to come into you. There's a spiritual aspect to all of this. And this bloom card is really about listening to the universe, listening to others. So we have both you talking and both you listening, but there's some magic here and there's some power here, and it's changing your life. It's life-changing. That was pretty. All right. And now we're going to the Muse Tarot. All right. Libra. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, your possible outcome. I love it when we've got a card from Leos and a card from Virgos here. In your recent past, you have temperance, a lot of patience, letting the waters settle, letting the muddy waters settle and become clear. Something becoming more palatable, more easier to handle, not quite as intense, not quite as maybe even black and white, but allowing for a lot of that gray area, allowing for flow. And this has taken a lot of patience, a lot of time to just grind those harsh edges off of something and make something more palatable. She's typically my bartender, and I see her here like shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. See, she's shaking the moon up there. And you're pulling in... you're mixing the bitters with the simple syrups and making something much more palatable that no one would be drinking, no one would be able to handle separately. And then there's also a sense of maybe heels having been dug in, and they're now sort of softening and being able to come into some sort of join thing. So a lot of the tarot has these two things. Sometimes we can blend the things. Sometimes we can juggle two different things. But this is a blending of the things, and this is a making something much more palatable. It's taken patience. It's taken time to let the rough edges come off of something, to sand that down, a sanding process here of a situation, of making it smoother, maybe making the emotions much more easier to handle, easier to deal with. And then we have the Muse of Emotions, which is going to be our King of Cups here in your current situation. That's beautiful. We have the emotional offering. This is a lot of emotional maturity, and maybe that's where we were going with this temperance process. It was a lot of emotional maturity, being able to handle just about anything, being able to handle your emotional liquor, both being able to receive our emotions, to receive the information from our emotions, and also to be able to share freely how we feel, what our feelings are, and not necessarily withholding. So there's the King of Cups, or the Muse of Emotions, is able to handle a lot of flow, is able to handle a lot of tumult. It is like this temperance card came in and made you this king, or made you this muse of being able to handle flowing emotions, being able to sort of understand what's going on with them, getting the information from them, because emotions are just another one of our senses, giving us information about the exterior world, and then we decide what we're going to do with that information. If the music's too loud, are we going to just sit there in pain, or are we going to go turn it down, or are we going to go deaf? I mean, what do we want to do with that? We are getting the information that it's too loud, and then what do we do with it? So the King of Emotions, or the Muse of Emotions here, is able to handle all of that, very balanced, able to sort of ride out some waves, and maintain his own demeanor and his own inner peace while tumult goes on around him. But so to me, that is just being able to maintain his emotional liquor here. There could be also a sharing of emotions, but it's so easy, it's so balanced, it's so beautiful because it's this flow. And maybe some of the emotions are a little topsy-turvy, but it's fine. We're handling it. We're okay. We're okay. And so then in your inner landscape, we have page of inspiration here. So this is just beginning to learn something. This is wands. So there could be intuiting something. You're intuiting something very strongly here. You are not sure what it means. I love these two black cats. I have a black cat, which you may or may not have seen wandering through here from time to time. But it's the page of inspiration. So the page is going to be just starting to learn, just starting to understand something. And you may just be starting to understand something internally, because we do have the moon card showing up later. So you're starting to understand something internally, and getting some internal clarification, really learning about something, inspiring. It could also be the inspiration is going to be our creativity, possibly our sexuality, and our inspiration and our intuition. That's all bundled up in this card here, and it is bundled up subconsciously and psychologically as well. So there is a lot of just learning about your own creative force, your own, just starting to understand that. You could be worried about what you're starting to see, what you're starting to understand. This could be a concern, but this could be also a hope. This is something that a way you're hoping to grow, is you're hoping to grow in your intuition. You're hoping to grow in your own flow, really. This could be learning about your own flow and how you work best and how you handle situations best, and just learning about that, and really listening to. I'm seeing a lot of listening. We learn a lot through listening. Obviously, that's our main mode of learning. And then we have this listening here. So we're having this page of inspiration, which I feel like is so similar to this bloom. We've got this like blooming here, almost out of her ears, out of her mind. So this is your mind possibly opening up, really. But both of these are talking about intuition, intuitive hits, really understanding something, really listening to, I want to say, the universe and the messages that come in that we only get a glimpse of, we only get pieces of, but we can, but trying to understand that and learning how to understand something, learning, and it could be a creative learning process as well that you're involved in, and really hoping to be able to learn quite a bit and grow and understand something. What's at issue, what's going on, is we have the reverse hermit. So we could be not listening to our own light, but we could also be coming out of a time of isolation, coming out of a time of, I want to say, separate isolation, a separation, coming out of a desert. Your own light may, I think that you're coming out of a time when you've really had to go internal. You've really had to listen to your own heart, listen to your own self, listen to your own intuition, and understand that, being on sort of your own little vision quest here. And it could be a time of coming out of your own vision quest, a time of coming out of that. So there is a time for that vision quest, but we can't stay out there in this desert forever or we'll die. So coming maybe out of a time of isolation, a time of just wanting to vibe with yourself, or because it's in the reverse, having found what you needed to find out there. And having come to the understandings with yourself, and maybe even the agreements with yourself that you came to. This could also be not currently listening to your own intuition. But with this page of inspiration here, I feel like you really are in a space of wanting to listen to your intuition and hoping to be able to hear those clear messages. So I feel like this is maybe just coming out of a time of isolation and a time of separation or isolation, and where you really had to go on a vision quest, and maybe you're hopeful that you've got what you needed to get from that time, and you can move forward here with you know, that you understand your intuition now. You understand what it's trying to say, and you have a clear, that clear connection with yourself and with your own intuition has been established, and you can sort of come back into, be welcomed back into society, having grown and having changed, and being much more clear and on what you want. And I see that with this card as well. So in your what's going on in your external landscape, you're getting a lot of this is the Star card, and coming underneath the Temperance card is so fascinating to me because they're both about flow. This is about the patience of allowing flow to get going. This is almost like pulling down a dam, or putting up a half dam, and like, so we don't have a raging river, and also we don't have a little like desert here. So we're, which this card depicts as a desert. So actually that's really fascinating because we have this Muse of Emotions, and then we have the Queen of Emotions and the Moon card here, all talking about water and watery things. And here's coming out of a desert, coming out of, which was very important place to be, to find out what you needed to find out, to get in touch and make those vision quest like agreements with yourself and your destiny. Here we have the Star card. You are right where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be. This isn't a mistake. This isn't, no mistakes were made. Maybe they felt like they were made, but they were not made. You're right where you need to be. You're getting some sort of external validation for you being where you need to be. This could be being in the spotlight. This could be receiving some praise, receiving some acknowledgement. But this could also just be, this card itself is here saying you're exactly where you need to be. The universe has you situated perfectly for whatever needs to come next. No mistakes have been made. Mistakes have been made, and yet they weren't mistakes at all. You're exactly where you need to be, and that's what's going on. You could be experiencing some a little bit of pressure, a little bit of a spotlight vibe here, but it's all here to say that you are in the flow. You're right where you need to be. Yeah, you're right where you need to be. And there could be some sort of notoriety or fame in your environment, or someone with some notoriety or fame in your environment. Your to-do list is the Moon. This is being in your feelings and sitting right underneath this Muse of Emotions. It really seems to be like, feel it all the way. There's parts that you'll never understand, and that's okay to feel those parts too that you won't ever understand. But to be plumbing those parts, to be plumbing your subconscious, looking at what isn't obvious and what you cannot see, but also a sense of acknowledging how much cannot be seen. But the Moon card is really going to be working with our subconscious issues, working with our shadow selves, working with all the icky things we find within us that we don't like, unformed bits, half-baked parts of ourselves. And I think the Moon card can indicate an acceptance of that, an acceptance that our subconscious is always at work, but also intuition too, right? Our subconscious can just be, our intuition can just be stuff we haven't overtly processed yet, but information we've received nonetheless, but we just haven't overtly processed it. So it could be a sense of really trusting in your intuition, maybe even really looking at your intuition. We already have this page of inspiration dealing with our intuition here. So, and we have this Bloom card also dealing with intuition. So there is a lot of just listening to your intuition, listening to your inner self, and doing whatever inner work you need to do. The Moon is going to indicate things that are hidden. And it's okay to have things that are hidden from ourselves, and it's okay to have things of ourselves that we hide from other people. We don't all have to be 100% vulnerable all of the time. So it's going to be okay to hide some things, keep some things to yourself. Yeah, and keep some of your subconscious, keep some of your own secrets. I think that's going to be okay. And yeah, I mean, I think that what's really fascinating is this is a similar message as last week, is like keeping our own secrets, keeping our own counsel, keeping things a little bit quiet, and not having to bring everything to light, not having to expose everything to that bright sunlight, you know, the bright bleaching sunlight. We don't have to expose everything. But so I see like both like keeping keeping hidden what you want to keep hidden, that's okay. Being in touch with your intuition, being very in touch with your intuition, and doing whatever subconscious work. So one of those might resonate with you more, so go with that. But doing your subconscious work. I mean, because we have intuition here, and you're already in touch with it. And this could be being really examining your emotions and your feelings too. So, or maybe bringing those hidden things to light. Yeah, that sounds good too. Bringing hidden things to light, both within yourself and maybe even with other people. But you don't have to bring everything to light, because you can't. You can't, because a lot of it's always going to be hidden. But what you can bring to light, bring it up. I mean, we're having a lot of it. We're having some emotions here, some feelings here, and I think we're looking into them and examining them. Where we're going, Queen of Emotions, really being in touch with our own feelings, really understanding how we feel. There's a lot of complexity here below the surface. There's this sort of surface, sort of wandering around, feeling what we feel, but the Queen is going to be, the Muse of Emotions is going to be a master of that. And the Queen of Emotions is more in an exploration phase, an understanding phase. What turns her on, what makes her happy, and just really understanding that and being in that space of, so this could be, because it's a court card, it could be someone that you know, and again with this Muse of Emotions, this could be someone that you know in your environment right now that is fairly well balanced, fairly emotionally healthy, and this could be you or this could be somebody else. And the Queen of Emotions typically has like some sort of offering or communication, inspired. There is a sense of intuition and inspiration with the Queens. They do sit in the solar plexus area. So the Queen of Emotions, though, is so a lot of feelings and really understanding and really getting clear on how you feel, what you feel. There's a lot below the surface here. There is quite a bit below the surface. You may just be thinking you're wading in your emotions, but there's so much in there. So this could be you or this could be somebody else who gets very clear on what they feel and what they think. What they feel about a situation. And they could be bringing those feelings to you. Or it could be you just getting clear on what you feel. Because your job is to search for that clarity, to bring that to light, what your feelings are. To bring it to light either with other people or just with yourself. And then where you go is then you just obviously end up very clear on what you feel and what you think, how you feel. That all gets, she sort of emerges as this sort of emotional goddess from the ocean, and we see what's beneath the surface, you. I mean, it could just be for yourself, but it could also be something that's meant to be shared, and a clear understanding of your feelings that's meant to be understood by others. Yeah, sharing those feelings, communicating those. Whew. Topsy-turvy times. You're on your path, right? We're getting this star card. You're on your path, but there's a lot of upheaval here. Hence this, I think, why this King of Emotions is here. There's some upheaval. There's some unpredictable grace. It's not a lack of courage that makes you question the path before you sometimes. It is uncertainty. There is no need to doubt, just steps to take one after the other. And as you do this, all can then unfold as it must with the blessing of my powerful, if unpredictable grace. So expect the unexpected. All right, Libra, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. Oh, and also, do hit that subscribe because it helps other people find this channel also. And they might find these messages useful too. So it's a charitable act to hit the subscribe button, not just for me, but for others that come after you. All right, I hope you have a great week.